Hello everyone, Lady Rose here with you today. I wanted to do the video for the pick a pile that I put up on YouTube for you, and of course shared it on Facebook and Instagram and all those great places. So if you recall, you could choose the pile love, or the pile of action, or the pile of pleasure if that's what you're looking for, or those of you that are maybe making a decision, the pile of choice. So we're going to start with the pile of love and just see what's going on there. Now, I will first talk about which decks we're using. So we're using the Moonology deck, and it's the newest Moonology deck. I love her decks. They're so great. And I got the new one, and I'm loving that new deck because I loved her old deck too. But she just puts an extra layer on this deck, which I'm really enjoying so far. And then I've got Wisdom of the Golden Path. And then of course I'm using my regular working gilded deck. I don't have the box for this anymore because I've been using this deck for about 15 years now, so the box has long gone somewhere. I do have the book somewhere, but I'm not sure where that is. And then what's covering up these self-care cards are Wake Up, Kick Ass, and Repeat. These are a new deck as well of empowering cards, and I'm really loving them. And all of these decks are decks that I use in my New Year's tarot reading that I do every year. So I only do it for a limited amount of time. So I start usually November, December, January, and that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. So we wind down the year and we see what's coming up in 2022 for you. So that you can still book for January, and because you're fresh into the new year, right? So, and it's basically we look at all 12 months and what each month is going to bring. And we use all of these cards to see what each month is going to bring. And what's really kind of weird about this reading is that it is eerily accurate, as one client has put it. And I can't tell you the number of messages that I get from people saying, you said this would happen and I didn't think it was going to happen, and then it did happen. And I get those kind of messages all the time about this particular reading. And I have a very, very loyal following for this reading, because I will, not see that client at all through the year, but they will come and get this one. This is the most loyal base I have, is the New Year's reading. Now I do allow it to be done on your birthday month if you want to get it around your birthday, because the changing of year to the old year to the new year is a very powerful point in time, but so is your birthday. So as close to your birthday as you can get. You can also do this reading. It's a little more expensive if it's on your birthday. So it's always better to get it the new year, because it's $88 for the new year reading. It's $99 if it's for your birthday, but get someone else to buy it for you if it's your birthday. So we're going to start with the love pile. So the love pile, the first card we've got is Inhale the Future, Exhale the Past, which seems very appropriate for I hope I'm getting this in the camera, because I can't see what I'm doing right now, so I'm hoping it's all in the camera. But I've read the message to you. Inhale the future, exhale the past. And that's very fitting for the love pile if you're looking for new love to come into your life. If you're working through love that maybe has had some rocky moments, maybe there's some arguments that were had, you do need to go into this next level of your relationship, or into this new relationship, not painting them with the same brush that you painted the old them, or the new version of them, or whatever it might be, or your new love kind of thing. So inhale the future, exhale the past, let it go. If you're working through a relationship that's maybe gotten on the rocks or something, really exhale the past. Forgiveness is truly letting go. And the love card just says, choose love. Let your love become a powerful force for change. Because self-love, brings out the best in us. Romantic love brings out the best in us. Friendship love brings out the best in us. Love with our family offers that support that allows us to be the best of who we are and make those changes feeling safe and knowing we've got that support. And then for your Moonology card, you've got last quarter moon in Jupiter, leave the past behind. Wow, there's a lot of like, let go of the past. And it's last quarter in Jupiter. Jupiter, their waters run very deep. When they commit fully. They're also the best in bed, by the way. And I'm not a Capricorn, but I'm married to one. And I read that in one of my books. I'm like, oh, lucky me. And leave the past behind. The last quarter moon, that last quarter moon phase is when we are releasing and letting go, exhaling out everything that we don't need, that no longer serves us. So that's your best path to love, is letting go of those hurts that you've had in the past, because it's not serving you. It's not serving, if you're staying with your partner and trying to work it out, it's not serving them. If you're looking for a new partner, you can't bring in a new partner and start blaming them for things the old partner did, or even suspecting or being scared of. He's going to do the same thing, or she's going to do the same thing that my old partner did. It's like you can't paint them with that brush, because they're not that same person, right? And then your golden card is Inspired Warrior. So it's saying go out there and take that inspired action. Put yourself out there. A lot of people get hurt in love and then never want to put themselves out there because they expect to be hurt. And sometimes we self-sabotage. Well, not sometimes. A lot of times we self-sabotage and we look for those, oh yeah, see, that person hurt me just like the last person did, right? Something has to change. So you have to let go and you have to be inspired and take inspired action forward. And then you've got the Sun as your tarot card. I love this because this is one of the few victory cards in tarot, and it means sunny days ahead. The new love that you're experiencing, whether it's with an old partner or with a whole new partner, or maybe it's a repair of a relationship with a parent, a sibling, a friend, whatever it might be, sunny days are ahead. So this gives me hope because it's saying that you are able to let go of past hurts, past wrongs. You are able to step into that new love, that repaired love that is at that new level now. Relationships change. And sometimes we want them to stay the same despite the fact that we're being hurt by them. So the only thing you can control is yourself. So you either have to decide to change and love this person as they are, or you need to, make the decision to step away. Maybe it's for your own health that you need to step away and your own well-being. But that's your decision. And whatever decision you make, you need to let go completely of any hurt and then take that inspired action. Okay, so I hope that helped for those of you that chose love. Now, those of you who chose action, here are your cards. So action. The first card is, of course you can. So if you've been wondering, should I do this? Is this an action that's inspired, so to speak? Is this the action of where I need to go to get to that right place? Yes. Can I do these things? Of course you can. And then action, it says take action. The journey to find your lost self begins with one step. And that's the thing about action. Sometimes people hesitate on action, not because they have doubts about it, but more they have fear about it and they feel overwhelmed by it because they see the whole path. And it might not be the path you're going to be on for the whole time. Because sometimes we think, well, I want to get here and I'm starting here and I want to go over there. So I'm going to go this way. And the universe takes us that way instead. And so we tend to micromanage. So we work really hard when the universe takes us this way to try and get back here because we feel this is the path we need to take. But the universe is showing that it needs to go this way first. And there's always a method to the madness when it comes to the universe. So sometimes you got to let go and just trust and surrender and know that this is the way forward, despite the fact that I can see it over there. but I'll go over here if I need to. Sometimes there's a bit of a learning curve that we need to go on before we can get to that destination. So take that inspired action. Don't get overwhelmed, because sometimes we look over there and go, oh my God, that's so far away. How am I going to get over there? I don't know how. I see rivers, I see lakes, I see mountains that I have to climb, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about it. The universe wants to take you this way, or if they do want to take you down this path, okay, so you have to cross a river. We'll figure it out when we get there. We'll get there. We don't have to figure out how we're going to climb the mountain or cross the ocean or get across the river. We just need to take that first step. I'm pretty sure that first step isn't directly on a mountain or into an ocean. So just take the first step. Go from there. The universe might take you over here because you're avoiding the whole mountain thing or whatever and taking you away from that. You don't actually have to climb the mountain. The universe knows another way around. So trust and take that first step. All you have to focus on is taking that first step. You don't have to look at the whole journey. You don't have to know where it's all going. Know where your destination is as far as this is my goal. However the path needs to be, let it unfold as it should and take the first step. You don't have to take the first 500 steps. You just have to take the first one. And then you are also, your moon card, you're also in a last quarter moon, but you're in Pisces, unlike the love people who are in Capricorn. So you're in Pisces and it says talk less, feel more. For this card, I really feel that it is very much about that trust and surrender that I was talking about, that, letting things unfold as they should. Don't try to rush things, because we often have a timetable in mind and we want to push, push, push. We also have a destination in mind. We should go here and then here and then here. And then the universe is kind of going, well, here and then over here and then up here, much faster. So we don't need to micromanage everything. Know the broad brush strokes of where you need to go. And if you're feeling frustrated or if you're feeling scared, like I said, just take that first step and listen. Listen to the universe. See where it wants to take you. Let it unfold. Talk to your angels and your spirit guides. Again, I will remind you, as I have many, many times before, the angels cannot help us. The spirit guides are partially bound by the same thing as well. They cannot help us without us asking, because they cannot interfere in our lives until we give them permission to, because otherwise they're breaking the free will contract. And that is one of the main rules they have to obey of the universe. They have to let us make our own decisions. But if we ask for help, they can give it to us. So they can guide us, they can give us advice, they can give us signs, and you don't have to just, I'm waiting for a sign from my angel. I don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully I know it when I see it. You can ask for a specific sign too. You can say, I want to see a crow, or I want to see a nickel, or whatever it might be. Name anything. I want to see a blue flower, and if I'm in the right place. They will provide it. Now, I will give you a little bit of a heads up about the angels. They do love puns. So however you think you're going to see that blue flower or that nickel or whatever, they'll often present it to you in your life in kind of funny ways that they think are hilarious. And you're like, oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Knee slapper. But that's their sense of humor. They love puns and things like that. So that's who they are. Now, masquerade is another thing that's coming up. So sometimes when this card comes up, it's one of two things. It's because it's about action, it may be a sort of a fake it till you make it. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, right? So that's what this masquerade is kind of speaking to me about, that whatever action you are taking, part of the fear is you're scared of the entire journey because you're looking at the whole thing. Just focus on the first step. And also, you feel maybe you've got a little imposter syndrome and you feel like, well, I'm not really ready, I'm not really prepared. You're taking on that perfectionist energy, and just go, just do it, because it's the experience, it's the journey getting there that is what's going to make you not an imposter, to make you experienced and qualified for whatever thing you're getting into. that you want to take action on. And the Hermit is here as well. So the Hermit, a lot of people think the Hermit is here because he's all about going away from the world and, you know, doing the meditation and the chanting and the studying and all this kind of stuff. Yes, he does do that. But actually, the main part of the Hermit and the main obligation and his purpose in life is not that part. It's the learning, of course, studying, meditating, but really his purpose is to come out, back out into the world and to become that beacon of light for those who are lost, for those that need whatever expertise the Hermit can offer. So when this card comes up, it often means you have something to offer, some experience, some skills, some gift, whatever it might be. Oh, there's a spider climbing right up to the ceiling. Oh, interesting. He came down and now he's going back up. So like I said, the Hermit is here because you have something to offer to people. And again, you might feel like you're an imposter, but really you're not. And a lot of times we have natural gifts, right? You're very good at this, you're very good at that. And you don't see value in it because you're very good at it, because it comes easily to you. But there probably are a lot of people that does not come easily to, and for them, it's got value and worth. So that's what you need to figure out, is what is it you have that, you know, you think is easy and natural that other people would benefit from, and then take action on that. All right, now we're into the pleasure. For those of you that picked pleasure, that want pleasure in your life. Okay, so the first card is Make Mermaid Waves. Make Waves Mermaid. That's what it was. Make Waves Mermaid. So this is a lovely card. So pleasure started already. Water, mermaids. Who can't enjoy that? And then we've got a lovely lady here with some kitty cats. I have 2 cats myself. I would have dogs, but I just recently lost my 2 dogs. So I'm not ready for a new dog yet, but I'm sure I will have a couple more. But it says on this card, for pleasure, do something just for fun. Pleasure is one of life's essential nutrients, and it's often something we set aside. You know, oh, I'll do it after I do everything else. But you need those little bits of pleasure. Like within my day, I'm often bribing myself with things that I like to do. But I make sure to pepper them in. You do this, you get that. You do this, you get that. And it's making so I'm a better housekeeper, which is not my forte. But I get things done, because people often are asking me, like, how do you get so much done? Because what worked for me at 5 years old works for me at 50 plus years old. Bribe me. And I know my own currency, so I know, like, oh, you can have this if you do that first. I'm always playing with myself that way, you know, because it works. And I'm very good about, I think it's because of my honesty that, you know, I don't even lie to myself, at least on this case, as far as, you know, I don't cheat and go, well, I kind of did some of it, now I'm going to get this. No, I make sure that I do it all. Now, you guys, for pleasure, have full moon in Cancer. This is such a great card. It says, let your fears dissolve. And that's what doing pleasurable things is about. Having pleasure, providing pleasure for yourself. It's all about letting your fears go. And, you know, you're just enjoying yourself. You're just relaxing. And full moon in Cancer, that's a beautiful card. Cancer is probably the most nurturing of all the zodiac signs. It's all about the mother energy, and it carries its home on its back, and Cancers do tend to be very romantic, and the full moon is all about your wishes and manifestation coming in. It's the time when you send your kisses up to the moon on the full moon as thanks for all the pleasure and all the gratitude that you have in your life. So this is a great card to get that just reminds you, yes, find that pleasure. It doesn't have to be outside of you. It could be in home, you know, doing whatever it is that makes you happy. So yeah, find that pleasure. Mark it in your calendar. I often remind clients that we need to have times to recharge, to relax, rejuvenate, pleasure, having pleasure, and all that kind of stuff. So I call it a do nothing day, and I put it in my date book. And I say today is a do nothing day. And no matter what happens, well, short of emergencies, obviously, but pretty much no matter what happens, it's like, okay, and you know, there's no pressure. Whatever you do that day, it doesn't mean it's a lazy day. It means if you want to do the dishes, have at her. If you want to sit and binge on Netflix, go for it. If you want to spend all day painting or singing or dancing or whatever it is you want to do, there's no pressures. Whatever you feel like you want to do. The word is want, not should, but want. Okay, so if there are dirty dishes piled up and you don't want to do the dishes that day, then don't do them. But if you want to sit and have a bowl of ice cream while you watch your favorite movie, then do that. If you want to journal for 4 hours, do that. Whatever you want to do. It's a beautiful day to have, especially when you put it in your calendar, because then you're really making a date with yourself. And when you schedule it in, you're more likely to keep that appointment, so to speak, because it becomes valuable, it becomes real, it becomes important. It's now an obligation, as opposed to, oh yeah, I'll pick a day sometime this month and that'll be my do nothing day, and before you know it, April, May, June, July slips by and you still haven't done a do nothing day. So it's very important, at the beginning of every month, you pick a day that's your do nothing day, top of the list of what you do every month. And when you do that, you'll find that you need that do nothing day because it's very important. And the first couple will be kind of weird because you'll sometimes slip and find yourself doing things you should as opposed to things you want to do. So remember, the word is things you want to do, not things you should do. Now your gold card is new beginning. So perhaps this do nothing day is a new beginning. It's a time for you to recharge. And I found that since I have a do nothing day once a month, and I do take breaks in between, and that sort of thing. But since I have a specific day that I know I don't have to do nothing that day, my productivity has increased. My organization has increased. I get more done in a smaller amount of time because I allow myself those do nothing days or those do nothing moments. I bring that pleasure into my life. I bribe myself with those things because when you know there's a carrot at the end of whatever it is you need to do, and I usually try to start out with things that I'm avoiding, like things I don't want to do, and then I give myself like the carrot, so to speak. I find that I'm getting a lot done, and there's not a lot that, is sitting around going, oh, I need to get done, remember me? kind of thing. And it's sort of like, I remember reading many decades ago about, only touching every piece of paper that crosses your desk once, like doing it while it comes in kind of thing. A prime example today was my husband has a dentist appointment that he can't make, and he texted me to reschedule it. Partly because we both don't like to use the phone. So I know he's like, just get me to do it. He's busy at work too, but he doesn't like to use the phone, nor do I. But, and I said, no problem. I can do that for you. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll do it later today. And I'm like, no, do it now, because then it's done. And then then it's not in the back of your mind. It's not yet one more thing you have to try to remember. So these are all things to do with pleasure. And when you do that, you've got the Two of Cups as your tarot. And the Two of Cups is all about connection, because cups are about emotion. You'll see that the water's nice and calm. The two people are obviously making a connection, but this isn't necessarily that you're making a connection with someone else. However, your relationships and your connections will be healthier and stronger when you give yourself those moments of pleasure, those do nothing moments, those do nothing days within your life. Your relationships will become a lot better because it ups everything. Your understanding, your compassion, your patience, all increase when you do less. Well, you actually do more in a smaller amount of time, if that makes sense. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it really does work. So give it a whirl. And this could also be the connection with yourself too, right? So better connection with yourself, a better connection with everybody else in your life. Now the last pile is choice. So those of you that have a decision you want to make, and maybe you're going back and forth and you're not sure, and you've done the pros and cons and it works about equal, or or maybe one worked out like, oh, there's a lot of cons there, but I still like that one, and you're like, I don't know, kind of thing. So here's your first card. I believe in you. Now, this is a very powerful message. I believe in you. So whatever you're making that decision about, the universe is basically saying you're going to make the right choice. Listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, listen to your gut, and see what where you tend to lean more. I'll explain that in a minute. Reconsider a commitment. You have the right to change your mind. So you have the right to change your mind. Maybe you're trying to get out of a decision. And you can always pull back and go, I'm so sorry. I know you were counting on me, but this isn't going to work for me. So unless something changes, I gotta back out. You're gonna have to find someone else, or that sort of thing, right? So you are in a first quarter moon, surprise, surprise, in Sagittarius. Okay, I love this, these moon cards work out so beautifully. So you're in a choice and you're kind of having a bit of a crisis. You're waffling back and forth. You don't know what to trust, even within yourself. And this first quarter moon, totally explains why the first quarter moon is here. The first quarter moon is always the hardest phase of all the moon phases, because it's the one that's going to challenge you. It's the one that's going to push back on you a little. And it's sort of like, how bad do you want this? That's what first quarter moon is about. So you're kind of proving. So when you want something from the universe, you simply say, I want blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to justify. You don't have to say, I want to win the lottery because if I do, I'll be a better person and I'll give lots of money away to poor people and I'll help everybody and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to say that. You simply have to say, I want to win the lottery, or I want $1 million in my bank account, or whatever it is. I want blah, blah, blah. Because it's not that the universe isn't going to want you to justify it. It's just the universe is going to want you to justify it at a particular time. And for you guys, that time is now. And that's the first quarter moon. The universe is saying, okay, prove it to me. Prove how bad you want this. Because the universe is going to throw up walls and challenges and push you back. It's going to be the big brother, that held your forehead and you were swinging and couldn't reach, kind of thing. So it's going to push back on you. Know that when you're most frustrated, especially if it's in a first quarter moon phase, that is the time that you got to keep going. Grind it out and don't hold back. Don't give up. I always say when a first quarter moon of any kind shows up, I always say, don't give up on anything. Don't say no to anything. Say yes to everything. Just for that phase, it's about 3 days that phase happens, right? So know that that's the most frustrating time, because once you break through that wall, that frustration, and you do it calmly and don't lose your, control of yourself, you're on the other side, and now you're like, oh, well, this is easy now, and we usually give up right about this close to breaking through the wall. Like the wall might be this thick and we get to about there, and then we go, no, can't do it. Obviously not meant for me. And the universe reads that as, I don't want it that badly. Now, the beauty of this first quarter moon is it's in Sagittarius. So Sagittarians are very interesting people. They're the hunters of the zodiac, so they always hit their mark. And the cool thing about hunters is it's great to have the skills and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of times hunting is requires a lot of patience, because you're sitting and waiting, and you're waiting for that right moment, for the right animal to come, whatever you're hunting, to be in the right spot, to have your gear all ready. There's a lot of luck involved in that kind of hunting. So the Sagittarians are the hunters. And so when it's in Sagittarius, the message is believe in your good luck, because good luck is coming your way. And when you make that decision, that's when good luck kind of shows up, because you're going to make the right one. and you'll hit your target. Whatever your goal is, when Sagittarian shows up, or Sagittarius shows up and you're aiming for a target or a goal, you know you're going to hit the target. And it's awesome. It's just a reinforcement. Now, the gold card is Goddess of Oneness. So know that you are connected. You are connected not only to the universe, but to everybody else. You are connected to your angels, to your spirit guides, to your ancestors, and they want the best for you. So trust in them as well. Now, I did say I was going to explain, sort of trusting in yourself, trusting how to know which way I want to go, because it's always the hardest. Like when there's options, you're like, oh, I don't know, they all look good and blah, blah, blah. So what you want to try and do is you want to try and do some mirror magic, as I call it. And you talk to yourself in the mirror, talking about each option. And what you want to do is you want to watch what you're doing, because our bodies will tell us. Our bodies are incapable of lying, and they manifest things to show us when we're lying to ourselves or we're doing things that are destructive to ourselves or whatever, right? But our bodies are very much both a human pendulum, but also they cannot lie to us. So when you talk to yourself in the mirror and you watch yourself, like, are you leaning forward when you're talking about it? Are you smiling? Do you have excited looking features on your face when you're talking about it? Are you talking a while minute because you're like, oh, this is option A. And then you're like, and this is option B. Are you leaning like this? And option B, and and I don't know, and you're pulling back a little. Watch what you're doing in the mirror, and your body will let you know which one is the best one for you, whichever decision that is. And then you've got an Ace of Pentacles. This is good. I'm not sure, but perhaps there's money involved in your decision. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's, do I ask for that raise? I don't know. Well, it's saying, yes, new doors will open, and you've got the Three of Wands as the gift that you get through the new door that you're opening. That's about money, career, job, home, that sort of stuff. And the Three of Wands, the 3 is first movement. That's the first number of movement, actual movement. 1 is the idea, 2 is the decision, 3 is the movement forward. And it's all about wands. So often that does have to do with our passion. It can do with our health. It can do with job and career, especially it covers. And also you have the support behind you. Whatever decision you make, because maybe you're wondering, what are people going to think? First of all, it doesn't really matter if it's the best for you, but you're going to be surprised and see that you have a lot of support behind you once you make that decision. So trust yourself and know that you will do right by yourself. Okay, there you go. That's the pick a pile. Hope you enjoy. Thanks so much. Bye.